Oh, you're recording?
Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Hunter Tuned YouTube. Today we're working on the cop car again. This thing, in the previous videos, we got it running.
I feel like it's some big thing.
What?
Welcome back to the Hunter YouTube extravaganza.
Yeah, that's what I should do. Welcome back to the Hunter Tuned.
Hello, mate. Welcome back to the Hunter Tuned.
Hey, how's it going? Where are you going to wrench today, boy?
Did you drink the dirty porn?
Okay, so anyways, we're going to work on this thing. The last couple of videos we had got it running. It had a fuel pressure issue with the fuel pump. We redid the fuel pump stuff. We re-welded the manifold so the turbo sits straight, and had to re-weld the downpipe a little bit to get everything to sit properly and to get everything to work. And turns out that the turbo, I think, was an issue and is bad. So the turbo, we actually just pulled the housing off of it, or like the center section. We pulled the center section off of the thing already. It's just 4 bolts around the turbine housing here, and then it slides out. So we got the turbo over on the bench, and this thing was leaking a little bit, if you don't say so. So there's oil and like water mixed together here, sitting in the turbo. It's been sitting outside, so the water, it's kind of a normal thing here, but so anyways, this thing definitely wasn't sealing, or the oil's just blowing past the turbo. So we're gonna swap out the turbo with a new one that I got in the mail today from VS Racing. We're gonna try to brake clean a lot of the old oil off. This turbine housing and the exhaust is just full of oil right now, because the turbo literally was just pouring oil straight into the exhaust and straight into the turbo housing. So we got to clean off all the oil that we can, and then the V-band was also not really sealing properly. So the V-band on the turbo housing, I'm gonna try to like rebend the clamps a little bit, but like even the V-band is full of sludge and oil and shit. So we definitely gotta, I'm gonna try to rebend the clamp a little bit to try to get it to have a little bit more bite, in order to seal a little bit better, because like I said, it was leaking oil right out of the V-band and all that. So gonna try to seal this thing up as best as we can here, top it off with oil because it is a little bit low, and we'll throw the new turbo on, and hopefully all is good. I'm really hoping that this is gonna fix the issue. It's been sitting here for like a week now, just kind of waiting on the turbo and diagnosing stuff and just a bunch of shit. So anyways, Michael's kind of getting in here and cleaning some stuff off, and everything is soaked, yeah. And the thing is, too, is even if the motor was bad, which it's not, I promise you it's not, if it spit that much oil into the exhaust from like a compression issue or something like that, it would be pouring out of the oil cap, or it'd be pouring out of the frickin' valve covers, or whatever the case. And if the drain was an issue, I feel like it would just be backing up into the turbo from the return line, and it wasn't. So, I mean, that's not any of the issues that we're dealing with here. We're literally just dealing with, I think, just a bad turbo. So we're going to swap it out, and I'll keep you updated as we go. I'm going to go grab the new turbo. It's inside, and then we'll compare the two side by side, swap the fittings around, and then pop it on. This is the new turbo. This is the new center section that we're going to be using, and this is just another billet 7875. Same thing as what this is, except this is just like the new guts and internals, and we're going to be reusing the housings on the old turbo. So we have to take off the feed and drain fittings. We already got the drain fitting off over here, and I cleaned off the gasket surface with the wire wheel a little bit to kind of smooth it out, get all the old shit off of there. And then we're going to take the feed plate off of here, and then the compressor housing. So I'm just ripping the compressor housing bolts out real quick. And then the compressor housing comes off like so. Dude, there's oil all over this fucking thing, man. Literally, like in the compressor housing there's oil, and then there's oil all around the rim here. Yeah, so hopefully the new turbo is going to fix everything. But this is the old center section, and then this is the new one. We'll just pop that housing onto here and put the fittings onto it and pop it back into the car. But this thing is just full of shit. Like, look at all the oil sitting on there. That's crazy. And then, like, you can see that the turbo is just flicking oil all over. By the way that the blades are, they're like blackened, oiled up top here. And it's like Michael was saying, he's like, dude, it's like a sticky substance. It's not even like oil. It's like just like goo. It's disgusting. Well, guys, we got a new shop. This is it. It's just beautiful. We have cars everywhere. And yeah, just mint. Look at Michael. All right, all jokes aside, guys, we are actually at Michael's work right now, and we actually got the Civic up on the lift right now, and we are replacing the tie rod ends because I had a loose outer tie rod end on the driver's side, and the last place that did the alignment on my car that there's a whole story about, just a story. Go watch the video if you really want to. But anyways, the last place that did the alignment on this thing, they did not... they couldn't get the tie rods loose because they were all seized up and broken, so we're replacing the inners and the outer tie rod ends right now because, like I said, the outers were actually stuck so bad onto the inners that they would not budge whatsoever with fucking heat, penetrating oil, you name it. We tried everything, and we could not get the outer tie rod ends off of here, so we are doing inners and outers on this thing, so it's going to have all brand new tie rod ends, and we're going to do the alignment because... well, there's an alignment rack right there. But yeah, so hopefully this thing's going to be all dogpile chicken smile now. I know that we did take a break from the Caprice for a little while, but I did get that sorted out as well. So we are going to do the alignment on the Civic, do all this stuff, and then I'm going to head back to the house and I'll show you guys what the issue was with the Caprice and why that thing was smoking. I feel like an idiot. Alright guys, so we got the car up on the alignment rack right now, and the rear is set pretty good. We had to adjust the toe a little bit. We tried to at least, but like these toe bolts that are up in the frame here are super sensitive and they break all the fucking time. So it's close enough. I think it's like a ½ degree towed in right now, so we're just gonna leave it. Those are both good. The camber is also at -1 degree in the rear. This side's kind of froze up. That upper camber arm up here is a little bit froze up. But the big thing here, guys, is what we're worried about here is the front of the car. So we're working on the front of the car right now, and we're doing the caster. So the caster currently, hang on, let me turn my light off. The caster currently is at 2.5 degrees on both sides, and that's about as much as I can get out of it without the threads running out on the adjustment rods. So when I brought this thing in, Michael, where was the camber at, or the caster, I should say? It was like 3 degrees over here, wasn't it?
This was 3, and this was 1.1.
Yeah, so we had 2 more degrees of caster on this side versus this side. So that is definitely a huge issue. You want the caster to at least be even on both sides, because if one tire is pushed farther back in the wheel well, say like this side was 3 degrees, you know, pushed in or pushed out, it's going to be, they're both going to be even now. So naturally with the traction bar, it's going to want to force, okay, let me fucking slow down here. So when you accelerate, the tire is naturally going to want to come back in the wheel well, from what I'm gathering. Right, Michael? Yes. It's going to want to come like back, you know, this way. It's going to go, you know, like that. So if you set the traction bar up to naturally have tension and caster against the tire this way, it's naturally not going to want to do that as easily. So it hopping back and forth is going to cause, you know, or the caster being off is going to want it to, you know, come back and forth like that. And that's really where the wheel hop is going to be, is back and forth like this. But we're also going to be setting the toe at negative, or towed in 1 degree, and then we're going to set the camber at -1 degree as well. So the tires are tipped in a little bit, because when the suspension raises up when you accelerate, it's naturally going to want to come to 0. So a good way to test that stuff is when you're on the alignment rack, you can actually just kind of lift up on the car and set the camber that way. But currently we are at negative 1.3 camber and negative 1.4 camber. That's actually pretty damn good right there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
So we'll just do the toe and then recheck this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I want it there.
I want to thank Michael for staying late tonight and helping me out.
You gotta put your steering wheel where you want it, buddy, old pal.
Oh yeah, okay, buddy, old pal. That light is blinding, ain't it?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna crawl up in this thing. Yeah, I didn't have the brake on. Is that okay? No, I took it off. This is like some fancy rod that they use to push this. Okay, the brake's on. Steering wheel is straight. What are we doing, Michael?
Fighting with a machine.
Yeah, damn technology's fucking ruining everything. I tell you what. Just break out the fuck. We need to just break out the tape measures.
That's what I'm saying. Tape measures don't let you down. They don't lie.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so guys, we've been here for like 2 hours on the alignment rack, just messing with this damn thing. And every time we adjusted the caster, it would totally throw off everything, and then the sensors aren't reading on top of that. So like the sensors will read, and then they won't read, and then we adjusted the toe, and then we literally all we did was like set the machine again, and the toe was totally different. So it's like this machine is totally messing up right now, and in the process of messing with the caster a whole bunch, I ended up stripping out the damn the rod, the adjustment rod down here. So like we went too far on the caster, and it fucked up the threads on the end of this thing. So that sucks. So I literally just pulled the traction bars right off, and we're just trying to set the toe at this point because we've literally been chasing our tail and having the thing on and off the rack like 5 fucking times, and yeah, it's fun. It's been a bitch. We had the caster set, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be totally great, and then everything got screwed up. I have no idea how or what. We don't know how to run an alignment rack clearly, but still, like this machine kind of just tells you like step by step what to do. But every time we changed something and went back to like make sure everything was straight again, or make sure it was like the same as it was before, it turns out totally different. So like the caster was at negative 2.5 or positive 2.5, I think, on both.
So initially,
yeah, the caster was 2.5 on both sides. That's what we set it at.
Yep. Okay. So then,
and then we didn't do anything else.
This is right away when we pulled it on the rack. This is what it was right away when we pulled it on. Right, caster is 2, caster is 2.6. Right.
Holy fuck!
Everything else.
I just had that other side at 0. Hey.
I charged my light. So I don't know what's going on here. We don't know how to run an alignment rack.
I'm just trying to do it for the last fucking time. Yep. Thanks. Thank you. Come again. Use my
Dude, I honestly don't even care at this point. I just want to go home and drink a beer.
Yeah. I agree.
Because this is just stupid. Oh, it'll still make it home.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, that's fucked up shit. It's still made it home.
I feel like, honestly, though, this like, we've been adjusting stuff, and we don't even know what we're adjusting because, this thing's not reading right, or...
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. So we started off...
Like, I don't know if these sensors need to be placed on the wheel a certain way, or if the pins in the camber plates need to be on or off when you're doing caster. I'm sure there's mechanics that watch my channel, so if you guys do have ideas, please leave them in the comments. This sensor, I don't know if they're supposed to be like down, forward, left, right. It shouldn't fucking matter, right?
That's how they look every day.
Yeah, that's when you do alignments here. That's how
That's why you roll it forward and roll it back.
Yeah, because it'll like calibrate itself.
The machine is supposed to calibrate.
Yeah, but it's like totally not doing that. Michael's done a few alignments, but yeah, I don't know. This is just stupid. Oh yeah? How much is my car worth?
I don't know.
About fucking $5.
Oh, you want me to show secondary specs?
No, mount measurement.
Mount sensor.
Oh, yeah.
Roller back.
Dude, we got all sensors.
Okay, we have all the sensors. Rolling her back. Okay, we're in the green. Okay, roll it forward. Okay, we're in the green. And we're good. Okay, so this is our current alignment. This looks right. -1.
Ready for this? There, just bypass no fucking caster all fucking together. Wheel level set. Let's make sure the goddamn wheel's level, huh?
Check the wheel,
It's
Michael.
a good day. Great day.
Yeah. Hey, at least I got new inner and outer tie rod ends.
Huh? Yeah, you do got new engine.
Okay, verify that the wheel is straight.
You sitting in the car. We're just gonna change it up every time.
It's pretty straight, actually.
It's gotta go left a little bit.
Yeah, that's saying the wheel's straight.
No, it's not. It's definitely off. Good enough.
There. Okay. Following angles were not measured.
Yeah, it's okay. And just bypass the shit. Bypass.
So why does it say that?
And we say okay.
Because we bypassed
So
the
we don't,
caster.
yeah, we bypass caster. So we adjust rear toe, and then since your bolts are all stuck. Oh, look at that! Now that's good.
Now the toe is fucking
That's the
good.
first
on.
time it's ever said good.
Right?
Maybe just the program needed to be restarted or some shit. Your toe's good too. Look at that.
Camber's fucking dialed too. They're both even.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, that's the first time that's happened.
Okay. Okay. Adjust front camber. Sure. Cannot. Okay. Adjust front toe.
Front camber's good. It wasn't it totally fucked up before. It was like 2 and then 0 or
Why
something.
is that hit all?
This was 1.5, and then this was 0.5.
Yeah, this side was 0.5, and now it's 1.1.
And then we changed, when we did caster the first time, it changed camber, which it does. And then it fucking changed all this shit.
Okay, so camber's good. -1.
No,
That looks dialed.
and we didn't move against the car yet. Right tie rod. Okay.
Hold on. That's
Dude, fuck it, dude. This is good. Just leave it.
Okay.
0.1. Good enough.
Ready. And then it goes to this shit.
Measurements are being saved, and then it doesn't do anything, right?
It'll be saved.
All right, so we literally didn't touch anything, right?
No.
Didn't touch anything, and the toe.
I called my
The toe
buddy.
is now at where I wanted. I wanted about a degree towed in, so this is close to fucking enough.
So all we did was I called my buddy because we were frustrated.
Yeah.
And I'm literally here like 2 hours after we closed.
It's
2.5.
It's 10:30, Michael.
Yeah,
When did you
2.5.
get off work?
4:30. And then I waited here till 5:30 for you.
Yeah, and then we've been here since 5:30.
Yeah. So I called my buddy and he says, "Oh, I've had that happen to me." Because every time we would do everything, we'd get to rear toe in the front.
I approve of your your volume right now. It's very good.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh. Well, we did everything in the front, and then we would go do the left side,
Yeah.
right side, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't keep it straight. And then we'd wait here, and it said, "Thank you, waiting for sensors to read," or whatever.
No.
It would do that. So we'd wait, and then I would restart it, and it would get to the same thing every time.
Yeah.
So I called my buddy that works at Subaru, which is literally 2 dealerships down, that used to work here.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I've had that happen to me before. Go on the right side, get to the front, and then look at the measurement without like going through the steps."
Yeah.
So we looked at the measurement, and now it's exactly where Hunter wants it.
Yeah.
And we didn't touch it from when I first adjusted it.
Yeah.
And when I first adjusted it, these were both 0.1 and 0.1.
Right. Which, whatever, this is close enough.
So that's close.
But when I've always gotten an alignment, I know that the guys that, when I did the alignment or whatever, they had the whole screen up where it showed everything. And they adjusted shit. They didn't go through all these little steps and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And they had a Hunter rack.
Did they do a caster?
I
don't think you ever
had
had caster done, did you?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So something with the caster program or file or shit in here is going haywire.
Yeah, so the caster we can't do. So I'm just going to throw the traction bar. I got my threads fixed on this fucker, so I'm just going to put them back on, like, you know, not so it's not tugging or pulling on anything. Just kind of fit them in there
Your
loosely.
toe's good. Your camber's good. You have all new bushings. If it doesn't wheel hop really, really super bad, if it does a little, it'd be the caster.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Yep.
So
we're just going to put these on like loose fit, not tugging or pulling on nothing, and then we'll go test it out and see how it is. We'll have to come back and do the caster another day.
yeah, when like an actual text here.
Yeah. So because the caster currently is like 4 degrees on one side,
This
and then
machine's 6 years old, by the way.
okay. Well, what's the caster at? Can we look at that quick?
Oh, we didn't measure it. We bypassed the measurement.
Oh, okay. So fuck
Actually,
caster.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to show us. Yeah,
No, it doesn't even show.
Bypassed. No, we could check. Sure. We didn't see it. It already changed. This now right here. Perfect example. Going through the steps in the program can freeze right there. Right there.
You know, there's probably gonna be so many comments of people that are like technicians and shit. They're gonna be like, "These guys are fucking idiots." But you're right. We've never done this. Who gives a fuck, dude? Let's just pull it off. I have bad luck with alignments.
Christian, move for a second. Shit. No, we'll just let's see if we can measure it to show them how far past it is before we can. Now it's doing wheel by wheel, just doing test. Okay, come on, there. It's like fucking Mario Kart. Oh, so now it's on even longer.
I'm not.
Oh, this just proves the point. Hit select measurement. Look at it again.
You can't fucking turn it to get it to go.
I'll turn it a tiny bit.
Turn it to the left.
It'll go gray. Oh, no.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh. Now I'm literally moving in a quarter inch.
Yeah, and it cuts out. It's cutting out.
So hit select measurement once. Do the second one. Second out for sure. Try that one. How many times have you seen this fucking...
I'm about sick of looking at it, dude.
Come on, get back. See, now the fucking sensors and shit are going all haywire.
Yeah, this is what we've been dealing with, where the sensors just aren't reading. We've been chasing our tail. Machine needs to be like recalibrated or something.
Oh, too much. This might be the first time I've done it when the wheel ends up straight.
Oh, see, now the caster's totally fucking different, dude. The toe is right where it was.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is where it was. The wheel's just one way or
1.5,
another.
but yeah.
Yeah. But this doesn't even look bad.
That's technically within stock specs, is what that's telling you.
1, 2, and 2,
And
5.
that used to be just so
This
everyone
was
knows, we were
4
looking
and this
at
was 1
4
or 0.
and negative like 0.05.
Yeah.
I kept sitting here and fucking adjusting the dumbass shit.
Well,
like we still have to fuck with caster, but it's way better. Like it's still, I don't like it drives good.
Yeah.
Like I let go of the wheel, it goes straight. Like I'm not even touching the wheel, and we're staying in the lane. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the toe is probably good now. I don't know. Fuck EKs. I'm just kidding.
They're junk.
No, we're good. This fucker rips.
Yeah, it does. Now that's not wheel hopping every time. It feels like it's...
okay, it hops if I bang first or second. If I roll into it in second, it doesn't hop.
Oh yeah, no, it feels like it's making way smoother power.
Yeah. I don't even notice the blow by really.
No.
Not much at least. So yeah, I don't know. We're getting somewhere with it, that's for sure. It's gonna be a battle trying to dial it in, but we're getting it.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so we just made it back to the house and the car is doing pretty good. It's honestly, it's hopping less than it was before, so like I can shred it in second gear pretty smoothly and it just goes. It still hops if I bang first to second gear, or if I like clutch kick it really hard, like second gear and you clutch kick it to kind of just get the tires spinning, it chatters and it hops. I think maybe messing with the caster a little bit more might help some of that. Or maybe messing with the suspension a little bit more with preload and dampening and stuff like that might help a little bit as well. I'm not 100% sure on a lot of this stuff. I know EK chassis specifically are a bitch for wheel hop. A lot of guys say that they'll just hop all the time until you put a mid plate on them, but I'm not really looking to do any of that. Honestly, if the car just stays how it is now, I'm happy. And honestly, if I just give it a little bit more power, it'll shred the tire a little bit easier and it won't hop as much. But it's in between the stage of traction and spinning its balls off right now because it's only on 10 pounds. So I think maybe if it was on 20 pounds, we won't have any of these issues. So, but anyways, we got the Caprice in the garage, obviously. I did a bunch of work on this thing last night that I didn't really film a whole lot of. We took the wiring pretty much and redid the whole wiring mess that was up front here. It's a bitch because this box is about, you can only run it a certain amount of, there's not much space up here, and this box, there's no wiggle room with it, so it has to sit like right here. This is the fuse panel box thing. With the way the turbo is and everything like that, the box kind of really has to sit right here. But it had a bunch of fan relays and a bunch of other relays that I actually tucked underneath the lower rad hose down there and tucked a lot of it under in the fender over in this area. So I did all that wiring mess and I pulled the fans out of it because I literally couldn't get the turbo to mount with the fans still in the box where it was. So I had to take the fans out to get everything to mount back up. And I fixed the smoking issue because this thing, the turbo was good beforehand, but the pan where they have the return line into the sump, it is above the oil level, but I ran this new turbo with the drain line straight to a bucket, and it seems like it's fine now. Not smoking, not leaking, nothing like that. But the old turbo seemed to still be smoking and leaking with the drain line going straight into a bucket. So I'm going to redo the drain line into the front of the pan. The front of the pan on this thing has a bunch of wiring on it, so there's like a little bracket that I had to take off and bend the wiring down out of the way so you can access the front of the oil pan, because that's really the only place that I ever run the return line on these LS motors is always on the front of the pan, never into the sump, and that's kind of where this one is. But yeah, so anyways, it's getting fucking cold out tonight, guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely chilly fucking day. Yep.
Chilly, really.
But yeah, car's doing a little bit better now, so. I mean, it drives straight for the most part.
5 hours of work.
No fucking shit. I don't know what else we can do to really eliminate wheel hop. We just put an alignment on it. The toe is towed in. People say toe in helps, and camber negative helps. So we put -1 and -1 camber.
The tires go back to 0.
Yes,
yep.
That's what I was saying earlier.
It goes to 0. When you have toe in, when you start to go forward, they pull out.
Yeah.
So if you have it in and you start going, they go back to 0.
Yep.
And casters should be the same way because
and we got 32 pounds of air in the tires, Mike Batista. Because he told me to put 40 in them and it wouldn't hop. It doesn't hop at all, like if I just shred it in second gear. But if I like clutch kick it in second, or if I bring first to second gear, it hops. Which I feel like your car does too.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Right.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna fucking play around and see what we can come up with all these cars and whatever. But the hatch is fucking running mint, dude. Like,
Maybe we'll do an update on my car on Thursday.
Oh yeah, tomorrow or Thursday, we might go over to my buddy Jake's house, like I was saying in the last video. Check out his twin turbo Camaro and measure some bearing clearances on Michael's motor because he's going all out on this fucker. We got dial bore gauges, micrometers, and the whole 9 yards.
I ordered standard bearings, and I'm at roughly 4,000.
You ordered X series bearings.
Yeah, standard X.
Yep.
I'm at 4,000 of clearance. So I called King today and said, those are way too big. What do I do? And they gave me half off a standard set of bearings, so you can do 2 standards, or you can do a standard and a standard exercise.
Yeah, which
will get clearance.
Yeah, so we got 2 sets of bearings to play with to get the perfect clearance that Michael will need, which we're going to shoot for around 2.5 or 3 thou on the rods, and then the mains will probably just run like standard bearings in. Because we never had an issue with the mains, we only had an issue with the rods. So, yeah, anyways, I got to get back out here tomorrow and work on the Caprice a little bit more, get this thing dialed in, and we'll have a video, probably more video stuff on the Caprice tomorrow. Today just ended up turning into a shit show fucking alignment mess.
Yep.
So, but anyways.
And then when a tech comes tomorrow, the reprogram machine will be fine.
Yeah, they're going to have to reprogram it or some shit, and I don't know, whatever.
It's stupid.
Yeah, so thanks for watching the video, guys, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Or the next day, or the fucking next day, whenever I decide to work on something, because it's gonna be cold as fuck the next like day or two.
It's supposed to be like 15.
Yeah, it's below 0 wind chills, so it's gonna be kind of chilly. I'm gonna try to at least get out here and get this return line knocked out on this thing, and whatever little things I have to do on it still. Oil change because it's full of fucking water oil, and yeah. So, anyways, say goodbye, Michael.
Bye.
Tell them to subscribe.
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 Hit the bell.
Okay, bye.